Hi everyone, welcome to another Whip and Chat. I'm here with Becky.
Hola.
And Mackenzie.
Hello.
And we are obviously working on our diamond paintings because we have no lives.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants one?
Yeah, Becky came over this afternoon since we didn't get to see each other all week.
Oh my gosh, you've had a crazy life going on.
Life is crazy. You can't
really
help it.
crazy.
But, so, what'd you do this week, Becky? Besides ridding your house of a bat.
Oh my gosh.
That was so cute, though.
Oh, he was cute. He was cute when he was grooming himself. It was just adorable. But I'm like, okay, you're pooping on the AC unit, therefore you're evicted. He wasn't a problem when he was just sitting in the corner doing nothing because he was hibernating. But then he started getting confident and crawling around the window, and then I saw little poops on.
Yeah, that can be dangerous.
No guano. So I tried all the humane ways of trying to get him irritated to leave, such as a bright lamp next to the window. And then I guess they don't like the scent of eucalyptus and peppermint, so I doused the window, really pouring it down there. He didn't seem to care. And then I know it's kind of mean, but I sprayed him with water, with the hose. Got him nice and soaked.
That's just the bath time.
I know. That's what my husband Clark was saying. I think he's just enjoying the bath. And I'm like, oh, crap. So anyways, I said lots of prayers. I'm like, please, please, please. He just have him fly away on his own. But he didn't seem to want to listen to the promptings to go. So anyways, I had a friend whose brother-in-law was in town. And he came over and got him out. So prayer answered. Woohoo! So anyways, there's that. That was oh my gosh. I just sanity restored is the best way I can describe it. So I'm very happy about that. No bats. He flew away. He had to tear off 2 glass panels on the window.
Oh no.
And then took the screen off. It was all well worth it. I mean, these older windows, how they have 5 panels on them.
Mm-hmm.
So he took the 2 outer ones. One of them he cracked, which is whatever. So he took those off and then got the screen off and then tossed it. And as he tossed it, the bat flew away. What he failed to tell us, which thankfully he did, was when his first attempt on trying to get the bat off of the screen, it bared its teeth and was hissing at him. And I'm like, oh my gosh. When he told us that afterwards, he said he was nervous.
Natural instinct,
oh, it is. He was scared. Or not.
The bat was scared.
The bat was scared. So, anyways, yeah, when he finally got the screen off and he tossed it, the bat flew away. And I thought the bat was going to recognize me, so I booked it. I darted as fast as I could towards the house. And so, anyways, he got that out. He's gone.
And it still gets to live.
Yep, his name was Bruce. We did name him. But now Bruce is gone. And he duct taped that black gorilla duct tape. He duct taped the edges, awesome. And then and then he taped the 2 sides of the AC unit. So technically, there shouldn't be any way he could get in. And I'm not turning off the AC unit. I'm leaving it on in case he decides to try to crawl in. So hopefully, with his little bat sensory, he'll say that it's not worth getting in there. Otherwise, he's going to get chopped up, which would be sad.
Yeah.
That'd be disgusting, actually.
Yeah, apparently is the most disgusting smell ever when there's a dead bat. Anyways. But yeah, so there's that. And then I was working on my children's books. I got it all finished. I'm just I'm saving out all the images. And then I'm going to get some reviews on it. Send it out to some people to get some feedback. And then I'll publish it. I'm excited. It's taken me several months. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yay.
Yeah. So you have had a when it rains, it pours.
Yeah, that's just my life lately. I started working. Yay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still taking my mom to treatments, which end on, well, the one treatments end on Wednesday. The other treatments obviously will go on until the doctors say they can end. But we go for scans in a couple weeks. So that'll give us a better idea of what is happening. They haven't been able to do scans while they've been doing radiation, so because that would expose her to too much radiation at one time.
So those who pray, who love some prayers, and those who don't, I'm going to send some good vibes and just all the positivity sent our way as possible. And get the little shrunken or disappeared doomer.
Yep. So I'm pretty much living in my car. The days my mom has treatment, I leave my house at 8:30 in the morning and I don't get home till after work at 11:30 midnight. And the days I don't work, I'm helping my mom with my nephews. So, because they are 2 toddlers, and they are very hyper, and the more hands you have on deck, the better, especially when toddlers like to tag team you. And these 2 can be stinkers. I had words with my sister this week.
Hooray.
It was time. It was time.
We've been waiting for her
There
to
haven't
get...
been enough words with this sister, in my opinion.
Oh my gosh. One of those where it's like, oh, it's so hard. It's been so hard.
I feel bad for having words in front of the kids because all the kids were there. But I do not feel bad for what I said.
She needed to hear it. She needed to have a wake-up call. I mean, she could be like dealing with the emotions of your mom having a difficult time. Like, I mean, going through the
Let
whole
me
cancer.
explain. Let me explain.
Okay,
so
okay.
people know what we're talking about. You 2 know, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
I
rest
didn't
of the
know
world
if you had
doesn't.
explained it
But
yet.
no, this is the
Okay.
first whip and chat I've done since.
Oh, okay.
I'm the oldest of several children, and I have a sister who's just a couple years younger than me, but I'm the only one with a driver's license. So a lot of the helping my folks with my mother's diagnosis has fallen on me, which I don't regret. I would do it in a heartbeat. It's my mom. You do what you do for family.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, my sister doesn't seem to feel the same way and has been extremely selfish in that regard.
She's been very absent.
Mm-hmm.
But she's claiming family just to look good, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
And so I finally lost my temper, which happens very rarely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You really have to push Marissa.
So we had words. She left the house screaming at me. I felt bad for doing it in front of the kids, like I said, but I do not feel bad for what I said because I tend to stuff. I stuff my emotions, and when I do, then it bottles up and I do something stupid.
Well, this wasn't stupid.
No, I do something stupid.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
I knew what
get
she
it.
meant.
Okay, I get it now.
And so expressing my emotions, my therapist tells me, is the best thing, and if it means I have to yell once in a while, so be it. It's just a matter of taking it out on the right person and not the wrong person.
Which is what I used to do. I would always take things out on the wrong people.
Coming home and yelling at my roommate because I'm mad at my sister is not the right thing to do.
Which I ignored because I know the stress she's under. And I knew she just needed to vent.
I never yelled at you, though.
No.
You can get...
I never took it out on you, I guess I
No.
should say.
She's never taken anything out on me.
But you can tell when she's in a bad mood. Like, as can all of us, you know?
We can always tell when someone's in a bad mood.
Yeah.
And we just avoid them.
Yeah.
Or we get them to vent so they feel better.
Yeah.
Or you get
Anyway.
sarcastic.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was sarcastic at Clark yesterday because he's like said the whole bat thing because I get so paranoid about it.
Mm-hmm.
He says that's your monkey, your circus. I don't want any part of it. So yesterday when I asked him for a simple thing to help with, I said, "Thank you so much for helping me with the bat." And he's like, "You're welcome." And then like 5 minutes later, he says, "Was that sarcastic?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah. Were you trying to think of how you've helped me?" Anyways, I get sarcastic like that. Oh, sorry, I totally took over your
That's
story.
me on a regular basis, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway,
carry on.
Mackenzie, your week.
Oh, you didn't want to finish?
Work. I am not going to go into it because that would be too much ranting and venting.
Mm-hmm.
And this is supposed to be a positive video.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's just more idiots who don't know how to read signs.
Okay. Especially what time they close.
Yeah.
If a store closes at 9 o'clock, please don't walk in at 5 minutes before 9 o'clock.
And say, just because I got in the door, I can stay as long as I want.
Okay, end of rant. Just a public service announcement, folks.
Mhm.
That's all I was going to say.
Anyway, so we thought for this video we'd take a leaf out of Ella's book.
We watched her whip and chat. She posted, what, like 3 days ago
3
now?
days ago, yeah.
And we just got really inspired by it. So we kind of wanted to do something similar.
Ella did a series of quotes that she found online that inspired her. So we wanted to do some quotes that we like. And yes, we had to go on Google and find them because we knew who we wanted, but we couldn't remember the exact wording of the quotes.
Yeah.
So,
I know very few people have so many like quotes memorized.
Yeah. Well,
You
it's not that I
remember
couldn't
the
remember the
gist?
quotes. I just couldn't remember how it was worded and why
Yeah.
it struck me.
it's like you remember the gist of the quote, like how you interpret it, but...
And then I found new ones, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, Becky, why don't you go first?
Dude, I am a quote hoarder. I love quotes.
Before we start, are we going to do this one at a time and go around? Or
Yeah,
are we
we're-
just going to do
yeah.
all in one person
No, let's
first?
do one
at a time, and then we're
Okay.
going to discuss it. And if any of you have a thought on a quote we share, feel free to share it in the comments. I'd love to hear your interpretation. If you think we interpreted it wrong, tell us.
But a lot of these quotes are
Or
open
just
to
share
many
your own.
different ways.
Yeah, share
Yeah.
your own interpretation.
Everybody takes their own
Yeah.
vision away from
But if you think we
something.
totally interpreted it wrong, let me know.
You can.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we're going to agree.
Yeah.
Oh, bam. Okay, I'm trying to remember mine. Or find them. Okay, I have it in my Google Keep.
We
Okay.
wrote ours down.
Okay. All right, so this first one is how we walk with the broken speaks louder than how we sit with the great. And I love that one because there's a lot of people who just kind of climb the ladder because that makes them feel like important and teach their own. But
I know people like that.
yeah, I just feel it's those who, in humility, we have these important people that we are asked to like emulate and follow their example, and it's just, I think those, you think of Mother Teresa and how she just, her focus was in helping those who couldn't help themselves, and she, you know, after she had died, she just became this huge major example, which is kind of sad when people die and then all of a sudden they're given, you know, tremendous credit. But I think those are the most impressive people to me who like don't like record videos and share them on social media of like helping homeless and all of that.
They don't feel
Which
the
is
need
nice
to
that they
advertise the
do.
fact that they've done it.
Yeah, and sometimes it's hard not to share that because, like, yo, you're awesome. But I find the ones who some bystander recorded a
that
video,
moment of
and that's
kindness
yes, versus those who like, oh, I did, you know, I was moved by this tremendous thing and I couldn't help but, you know, go and help them, and I'm like, I don't know about that.
Are you doing it to help them, or are you doing it because
Yeah.
you're hoping it'll get you 5 minutes of fame?
Yeah, and get paid for it on YouTube. And so that's Yeah.
maybe that's coming. That's the way I look at it too. But I am
Mhm.
also a very cynical person, so
Well, I mean, it's just hard to see that. So, anyways, like walking with the broken, speaks louder than how you sitting with the great. And I just love those. I find it more impressive, and I love those people who just don't do it for fame or to give credit, like just to look good.
right.
You should be doing it on your own, in my opinion. So,
For the goodness of your heart.
yeah. Yeah. And that could be something that easily could be a hypocrite or like really, what do you need?
The paper.
Oh. I mean, because some people could say with my artwork that I do to help bring comfort to people, it can get technical. Anyways,
But you're not doing it to get famous.
No, it's just more of like to spread. I want to help more people.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where it can kind of like be separated, like is I'm doing it to really reach more people and to really help comfort people a whole lot versus, just kind of getting paid for it.
Right.
Like I did this, I did this. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I love those people who are doing it quietly. So that's mine.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Should we go clockwise?
Okay, so one of mine is actually one I have memorized. It actually wasn't on my list to start with, but I just can't get it out of my mind, so I'm going to go with it. Because obviously I'm supposed to remember it for a reason. It is by... Who is your quote by the way?
Oh, they had no author.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mine's by Jeffrey R. Holland. And it's broken minds can be healed just like broken bodies and broken hearts.
Mm-hmm. I love that one.
I saw that one while I was paging through new ones last night.
And I just love that one because it's so true. So many people assume that with mental illness, and yes, I'm getting on the mental illness tangent. I'm sorry.
It's just a major part of our life.
It
Yeah.
is. That once you're diagnosed, you're labeled. And that there is no fix for you. Mackenzie's evidence that there's a fix.
I'm living proof that mental illness can be helped.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And even though there's not a cure, you can successfully live with it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If you're willing to put the work in.
Yeah.
I am very, very grateful that at this point in time in my life, that when I am having a down day or I do have those thoughts, my brain automatically goes towards those coping skills. I don't even have to think about it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I don't know, a lot of people would say, well, that means you're cured. I don't know if you're ever 100% cured. But I can deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I can deal with it without medication.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't need to go to therapy anymore. So if you want to call that cured, go for it.
Yeah.
If you have to have a label on it.
I think of something that's like it can be healed, but it's still.
But it's still a part of my life.
I mean, you still have to do the work. That's where it's just like when you have bipolar disorder,
Mm-hmm.
one of the most common things that happens is like, oh, I feel better. I don't need this medication anymore. No, it's like you're doing good. That's one of the past videos was like choosing not to have kids.
Yep.
That's, I get that too. It's like, you're doing so well. You're going to do great. And I'm like, no, I'm doing well because I've been doing the homework.
Mhm.
I've learned the skills. And I'm doing the right things. So if I stop doing the right things.
Right. And yes, the quote says you can be healed, but even though you heal from a broken bone, even though you heal from a broken heart, there's scar tissue.
Yeah.
There's always remnants left
Yeah.
of what happened.
I think the key thing is like he's saying you need to go to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go and ask for help.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's just saying, I don't think he's being very literal. It's just more of like it can be healed. It's something that's that
Right.
is medical.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's more of
he's
medical.
equating it with
I'm
any
literal.
other illness.
I know you're literal, and I
I'm
can get
literal.
literal too. But his point is, it's just as important to go and ask for medical help.
Okay.
Yeah. Because there are things like, postpartum, it comes on, but then it can be healed and go away. And there's,
Right.
there's some forms of depression when you've lost a loved one that you need kind of like assistance with, and that will go away. And then there's the type of mental illnesses that are like chronic.
Mhm.
They're not going to go away. But they can be really well managed. Okay, Mackenzie, your turn.
Okay. My first quote is by Rainer Marie Rilke. He is a poet that I have essentially been in love with his work since at least 10 years. I can't remember how old I was when I discovered him, and I just feel he's very profound. This quote is, "For one human being to love another human being, that is perhaps the most difficult task that has been given to us. The ultimate, the final problem and proof. The work for which all other work is merely preparation." So everything you do, I think, to me, that says everything you do shows in how you relate to others and how you give love and how you love yourself. That's what it means to me.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Granted, he was a German poet. It might be slightly mistranslated, but that's the way it spoke to me when I first read the quote. That everything you do shows up in how you relate to others.
Mm-hmm.
And everything you do is going to affect how you love another person.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Should we repeat our quotes after we explain them?
I don't think that's necessary.
I don't think
Okay. All right, so my next one is, "No one is useless in this world who lightens the burdens of another." And that is by Charles Dickens. And I like that because, when I get in a cloud of depression, it's easy to feel like useless because you're not getting as much done at work. You're not cleaning around the house, like your dishes are piled up, and and you feel like a burden to other people. And so I really love that quote. It's just as a nice positive reminder that when you're listening to a friend, when you're going out with a friend, when you're saying saying a nice comment, or when you're doing something kind, you're not useless when you're lifting the burdens of another. And that burden could be just another person is feeling bad about themselves, and you just do a simple act of kindness. You're not a useless,
Right.
because you're being a friend, because you're lightening somebody's emotional burden.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Yeah. Okay, your turn.
Okay. My next couple are from movies, because I can be a movie junkie at times. It's from The Hunger Games. I believe it's from Mockingjay, but I'm not entirely certain. Correct me if I'm wrong. It takes 10 times as long to put yourself back together as it does to fall apart.
That is super true.
I like that.
And for me, it just, it's saying to me that, well, let me look at my current situation. My life is upside down right now. Upside down, inside out, and all sorts of backwards.
Mm-hmm.
If I fall apart, I can't help anyone. And it's going to take me days, weeks, possibly even months to put myself back together enough so that I can help my family. But if I hold on right now, I'm helping them already.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But in the meantime, we're also looking for ways to keep you from falling apart.
I know. I'm praying for a miracle that, things will.
part of what's keeping me from falling apart is knowing that if I fall apart, I'm useless to everyone.
Never works. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like what depression is, logic, but you're feeling another way. Because
Fake it till you
logically,
make
you're
it.
not ever useless, but you feel it.
Mhm.
And that's the...
Oh, I feel completely useless and helpless right now, but even though with everything I'm doing, I feel that way.
Well, there are a lot of things that we don't realize is what's so meaningful. Like
Mhm.
touching base with you every day is important to me.
Mm-hmm.
And all you got to do is just like say, hey, it just knowing as a reminder that you're there.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah.
All right, Mackenzie, your turn.
It's kind of neat how like our quotes are kind of connecting.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay, I'll kind of go up and down. Okay, this one is from, how did you say it was pronounced? Lao Tzu.
Lao Tzu, I think.
Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. I can really relate to that one, and every time I read it, I get goosebumps. Because that's kind of how my situation was. It wasn't until I got to know myself and I just fully got control of my mental illness that I felt that I had power. Because when you're depressed, you feel powerless.
Mhm.
You just feel like everybody hates you, and you try and put your value in what you do for other people and what you know about other people.
Mhm.
You can't do that. You're never going to feel complete until you know yourself.
Yeah.
Which is why I've been single for over 10 years. Because I need that time to get to know myself and to be comfortable in my own skin.
And now you just hate people.
And now I just hate people. But at the same time, I do feel powerful because I don't need someone else to complete me.
Mhm.
I'm complete in myself.
Mhm.
And that actually helps me.
Yeah, confidence. I love those moments where you just feel like you've upgraded. It's kind of like a computer and you get an upgrade and you
Yeah.
perform better. When you learn, like that happened for me when I learned how to be assertive, to say no and not feel guilty.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
And then just to be courageous enough to like, I'm protecting myself.
Yeah.
This is going to make you sad. My depression, or like not my depression, well, that too, but my decision may make you sad and really disappoint you. And I feel bad about that, but it's more important to me that I make this decision so I don't resent you.
Mm-hmm.
Saying yes and then being there and being resentful. I mean, that's more dangerous. That's worse. So I'm making the best decision for the both of us, even though you may not realize it.
It shifted a little. I'm just adjusting.
Don't look at me.
Nope, no faces.
Okay, so my next quote is, nature helps us to see and understand God. To all his creations we owe an allegiance of service and a profound admiration. Man should be kind to the animals which serve him both directly and indirectly. An angry word or a brutal blow wounds the heart from which it comes. Love of nature is akin to the love of God. The two are inseparable. It's a religious quote, but it's something that like you can see as a spiritual reverence for animals and whatever you define as spiritual. And it's important to me that I can easily get in a rant about it, but like for instance, it's a little bit of a rant. I'll try not to get too negative about it. But like when there's this scene as a dog is just a dog or a cat is just a cat, and going hunting and just finding joy in killing an animal. And I know that there's like that can be a technical like debate, like you're feeling good that you're providing for your family and you feel very proud about yourself, and I can understand that, but it's one of this like total dismissing the fact that these are living creatures who are emotional and like there's so many, and it's more like understanding to have a bond with a dog or a cat because they're just such an emotional connection and they're serving you. And I think that's where it's just important to me that you have this reverence for those animals, like a cow or whatever that you do eat, and they're providing that, nourishment, and they're sacrificing their life for you. And so I just think it's just so important that we have kindness towards animals. That's
That
important to
kind
me.
of, I think, like fits in with Native American
Yes.
beliefs, where you
Mhm.
use every part of the animal,
Mhm.
so you honor that animal.
Exactly, and that's an example when I get into a kind of a passionate conversation with people. That's something that I use as an example, is that yes, hunting is okay. Like there are some people who just vegetarians and
Yeah.
vegans and stuff that just they don't see the sense in
They'd rather
killing
see
animals
someone
at
killing
all.
animals,
And I
people
can
than
and I can
animals.
respect that, but my personal thing is like there is just in the animal kingdom other animals kill other animals
Yeah.
to live, and we are
We are
mammals.
animals.
Yeah. And so it's just kind of like I see it as a natural cycle of life, and I feel like it's within our intelligence and our capability, like the Native American culture, where you pray in gratitude for that animal's life, sacrificing it to help you to live. And so that's just something that's really important to me, is that we just give that reverence and that kindness towards animals. Passing it to you.
Okay. My next one, it's not inspirational. I just picked it because I thought it was funny and it fits
But
me.
we need that variety of books.
Yes, we do.
It fits me because part of my bipolar also comes with psychotic issues. So, at times I go a little, I hate to use it, but I do go a little crazy. I can see things, I can hear voices, I'm not in a right mind. So my quote comes from Twilight, the first book, and it's Edward talking to Bella, and it says, "I hear voices in my mind and you're worried that you're the freak." And I picked it because I saw it and it was like, it fits me.
It really does.
I talk to my friends who are goth and they're sometimes worried that people see them as freaks. It's like, honey, I'm the one who's hearing things. You have to tell me if it's real or not. And you're worried what people think of you?
Let's bring it down to earth here. I'll give you an example where you're not as crazy as you think you are.
And goths are just humans too.
They are.
Just because they look different.
That's what made high school so fun for me, is I had, from every class, I had good, close friends. And I'm like, that's what makes life exciting and interesting to me. Like, why would you set anybody aside because they look or seem
everybody
different?
has value. Everybody has a different perspective.
Life seems so boring and
Mhm.
sad when, anyway.
We're all cookie cutter
Yeah, I hate
images of each other.
that. Yeah.
Okay, so my next one kind of fits in with what I've been going through at work. That's probably why it leapt out at me. Because this is the way I feel about people these days. This is a quote by Oscar Wilde. So obviously it's older, but it still fits now. Nowadays, people know the price of everything and the value of nothing.
Mhm.
I like
That quote just really strikes me because everybody feels like they know everything, but it's like, what do you really know?
Like, I call it natural knowledge. That natural knowledge, or is it actual fact?
Just because you got that off of Wikipedia doesn't mean it's true.
And that's the danger of passing on quotes and stuff on Facebook, is because sometimes people
Yeah.
I think he said this.
Well, I'm wondering, I know there's a quote out there that people don't know if he actually wrote it or not, and I'm wondering if that one is it.
The one you just said?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think that one was it, but
Well, it's inspirational nonetheless.
yes.
And I'm going to go slightly literal on half of it.
Okay.
People don't know the value of anything.
They really don't.
Mm-mm.
They
Because
don't.
what's junk to one person might be valuable to another person.
Yeah.
Not just that, but what they don't realize the value of morals. They don't realize the value of teaching their children right from wrong.
Sorry. There was a bug.
There was an ant. Tis
God.
the season.
Yeah.
Central Pennsylvania in the spring. It's ant season.
Which, by the way, if you want a bit of trivia, sage.
Okay.
Okay. I have a bundle of white sage upstairs.
What I was saying.
Sorry, squirrel.
People don't realize the value of teaching their children the right from wrong, teaching them morals, teaching them boundaries.
Boundaries, big time.
And without realizing that, it goes into what you said, knowing everything and knowing nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At least in my mind, it
Also, you
connects.
can get really technical and say people complain that prices should be lower because they're paying pennies on a dollar. Well, how do you know how much they're paying for it? Have you worked at that store? Have you seen the invoices? Have you seen how much they paid for that product? No? Well, I guess you don't know anything, so shut your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, before this turns into a rant on
I'm done.
anything and everything, because I could take it to a rant too.
It's so hard not to.
It is.
It's kind of satisfying to get our feelings out.
Yeah.
Becky's turn.
Yes. Okay. So your presence is the best gift you can give a friend who is in pain. Don't fix it. Just be there. And I really love that. It's by, I think I couldn't read the font, but it's like Neria Hoffman. At least her last name is Hoffman. And that kind of goes back to my earlier quote of no one is useless in this world who lightens the burdens of another. And so your presence, just being there. And sometimes you just don't, you don't need to. And sometimes you shouldn't try to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
That your presence is healing enough. So I really like that as a reminder.
But in a way, that also kind of fits in with what you said about touching base with Marissa every day.
Yeah.
It makes you feel better just, even if all you'll ever say all day is hi.
Yeah, just because you like, hey, I'm here.
Yep.
And I can be like, okay, I really need to talk. Or it's like, it's just a nice reminder.
Okay, you're still alive. You didn't die in your sleep.
As I wake up I get out of bed at 1:30 today. You texted and you called and I'm like, I'll eventually say hello to you. I'm just going to sleep some more.
That's all right. I do it
Sometimes
to you
need
too.
to sleep late.
I've done it to you before.
Yep.
Okay, my next quote comes from the movie The Hunchback of Notre Dame. And I wasn't thinking about the fire they had when I picked this quote, because it doesn't really relate to the fire, but
It's just timely because you picked it. From
it
the
is. It says, if watching is all you're going to do, then you're going to watch your life go by without you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true. If you are just a spectator, if you're not going to participate, then life is going to pass you by.
Mm-hmm.
As Mackenzie looks around.
I prefer to be a spectator. I don't
But
feel like I'm missing out on anything.
But you participate too.
I do.
You participate with us.
Yeah.
You don't just let life go by.
No.
You,
If there's something I'm passionate about, I do something about it.
yes.
But I often just prefer to be on the outskirts watching.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my form of participation.
But that's still participating. You don't just stay at home just because.
No, I stay at home so I don't kill anybody.
You don't stay at home from something you really want to do.
No, I don't.
Just
If there was something
to
I
stay
really
at
wanted
home.
to do, I'd go.
If Meatloaf was in concert, you'd be going nearby. If Meatloaf was in concert nearby and we could afford
And I had
tickets,
yeah,
You
I
would be going.
I would be there.
or Heart,
Or Tool. They're my latest obsession.
yeah.
And you went out with us.
Yeah, I did.
So you participate, but
I think what she's trying to describe herself out is a homebody.
I am a homebody.
she is a
very
homebody,
much.
but she's not a hermit. Not
No.
yet, anyway.
Not yet.
But this quote, if you're not familiar with the movie, is said by one of the gargoyle statues who can't get out and do anything. They're stuck in the bell tower. And she's telling Quasimodo that he can get out and participate, but he's choosing not to.
Mm-hmm.
So he's choosing to be the spectator.
I think also is like if you stay in your I don't know, cave or whatever, you won't realize how much fun you would have
Mhm.
if you stepped out. Now, and I think that's, if somebody's content and they're happy, well then carry on.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
am
more of
content.
like, I'm just letting you know that if you do get out, you just never know how much happier you could be.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, I personally, when I have a routine, I'm content. I love routine. And so if my routine means like I can just entertain myself and just be completely happy about it. And I had this conversation, I think with you, where I was saying that, you know, Clark, my husband, he's one that finds satisfaction and happiness in life just getting out and doing things. But he can be a homebody too, but it's more interaction with people. I thrive on interaction with people, but I'm a little bit different because I can entertain myself and be completely satisfied. Like, I can survive on that. And so, anyways.
All right, Mackenzie's turn.
Okay. I'll do this one next. This one is unknown. That's what was under the quote. Strength doesn't come from what you can do. Strength comes from overcoming the things you thought you couldn't.
Oh, I love that.
Again, I can really, really relate to that. Because there are situations in my life I thought I'd never get over and that I'd never be able to put behind me. But I have. And it's made me a better person. Just being able to get through those things and put them in perspective and move on.
I love that. I had
Yeah.
that big high from when I finally just pulled through like my extreme anxiety. And I was like, oh my gosh, I thought like it would never go, but it was more of like, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep, you know,
Mm-hmm.
carrying on with this
And
desire.
even if it's just a little tiny thing, like, well, I'm never going to learn everything I need for this job. And then all of a sudden, 3 months later, you realize how much you can remember.
Mhm.
That in itself is a form of strength.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it's something small.
Yeah. Yep. I love that. I just, I can just totally relate with her. It's just so crazy. Freeing. That it's just, it is possible. And it's sad to kind of sometimes like see people, especially in support groups on Facebook, where they allow the illness, they allow the challenge to just dictate their life. They're
is
like,
something that actually used to frustrate me in group therapy.
mm-hmm.
Is I'd see how many people weren't willing to put in the effort and they just wanted everything to be fixed for them. It's like,
Mhm.
no, honey.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be hard. You're going to want to quit, but you're going to have to put in some effort.
Yeah.
It doesn't fix itself. You have to work.
Yeah, you have to get out. You have to keep doing things. And, I mean, I look at it, I mean, because sometimes people take it offensive, just like they can interpret it as you're totally dismissing the fact that I have
Yeah.
this illness.
No,
It's not
saying
that.
It's not going to heal itself.
You don't have to let it run your life. You can learn how to manage it. And I totally acknowledge and want to validate that it is going to be something that you're going to have your entire life. But you don't have to let it define
Mhm.
who you are. You don't have to let it run your life. You
I
can
can't tell you
manage
how many
it.
times I just wanted to give up and quit.
Yes.
I have depression. I have bipolar. Not
Uh-huh.
I am depression. I
Exactly.
am
Uh-huh.
bipolar.
That's
And
easy
these
to
people
slip
are
up on
letting
though,
their
too.
mental illness
It
define
is,
them.
but
Yeah.
I am bipolar is a little more easy to
Oh,
slip
yeah.
up on than I am depression.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
you're not your illness.
Mm-hmm.
But sadly, too many people think they are.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they let it define them, and you can't do that. And I made that mistake for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm not excluding myself from that group.
I'm not
Yeah.
either.
And I think it's easy to do that when you finally have the right diagnosis.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, you know, because I think it's so important. I think the very first thing that's important for everybody to do is find friends, find a network, because you can have that support and be like, okay, let's step outside of the house. You know, let's just go and get a breath. Anyways.
But like when I'm manic, it's not an excuse for speeding. It's
No.
not going to get me out of a speeding ticket.
It's like,
really
oh, I'm
not.
sorry, officer, I'm bipolar.
It's going to get my license taken away. I asked a cop.
Yeah.
He told me it would get my license taken away
Mm-hmm.
because it's not something I can control.
Mm-hmm. Or you could say it's like not something I can control. It's something that I haven't learned how to
Yeah.
manage.
But I'll still lose my license.
Oh yeah, I'll take that. Yes. Okay, whose turn is it?
Mine.
Okay.
Wait, no, it's yours.
Yeah, it's yours.
Okay.
I just went.
Yeah.
Okay. Staying positive doesn't mean that you have to be happy all the time. It means that even on hard days, you know that there are better ones coming.
I think Ella had a similar quote to that.
I think she did, but that's okay.
That's okay. Becky didn't watch that.
This
Listen
is-
to that with
no,
us.
This is our video.
And it's different. It's different.
It
was
is different.
similar, but it's different.
Yeah, I like
I
it
just
as a
think
good
it's
one.
no. My point is, I think it's awesome
Mm-hmm.
that so many quotes have a connection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even the ones that we're sharing, we
Yeah.
have a lot of connection.
And she
in
didn't
them.
even watch that, and she still made that connection.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, so I really love that because, when you're really down in like the depression, is like it's where you just feel like, oh, when is this ever going to leave? And my therapist and I kind of made a good analogy of being in the depression, is that you just have a brain cold. Like,
Mhm.
those colds where you feel like it's never going to go away and it's completely miserable.
I
Yeah.
never heard that before. That's actually a really good way to put it.
Yeah, we were just talking
A
about it. I'm
brain
like, I was
cold.
trying to describe to her, it's just like, it feels like I have a cold. It's like a brain cold. And she's like, that's brilliant. She says, I'm going to use that with my other clients because it's more of just like giving yourself permission to like write it out.
Right.
And it's like this quote is like saying staying positive doesn't mean that you have to be happy.
right.
It's knowing that happier times are ahead. And it's like with a cold, I know it just feels miserable and I feel like it's never going to go away, but it always does.
Yeah.
Right.
I
So
really like
I just
that.
I'm sick. I need to rest.
I need you to write that one down for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the quote or what I said.
The quote.
Cold. Oh, okay.
Well, and you can put your little analogy
Oh,
on
okay. All
Because
right.
I really liked that.
Yeah. So, anyways, I really like it. It kind of gives me permission to be like, okay, I have a cold. It's a brain cold, so I need to rest. I need to, treat myself well, pamper myself as if I.
All right. Excuse
that?
me for a moment.
Oh, I forgot this. I don't know what color this one is. That one? That box? This box?
Yep.
Okay. All right, your quote.
My turn.
Mm-hmm.
How many do you have left?
I actually put together 6. I have one more.
Okay. My next one is it's another LDS quote. It's by Gordon B. Hinckley. And it says, "You have not failed until you quit trying."
I like that.
And it's similar to one of Ella's, in the one that she said, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. Because as long as you're trying, you're succeeding. But once you quit, it's over. You're done. You failed.
That's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. I compared
I
it
think I
to
saw that one last night when I was going through too. I
I
almost wrote
compared
that
it
down.
to Ella's one of whether you think you can or you can't,
You're right.
you're right.
Yeah. I like that quote too.
Yeah. All right, your turn.
Okay. I've been checking mine off because I'm not going in order.
Okay.
Okay, I'll do my other Rilke quote. And again, he's not for everyone. Your preparation for the real world is not in the answers you've learned, but in the questions you've learned to ask yourself. Again, that kind of ties in with how you can heal from mental illness. Because until you learn to ask yourself the right questions, you're never going to get to the bottom of what's causing it.
Mm-hmm.
At least in the case of depression, where it's not, or borderline.
Right.
Because borderline is environmental completely. There is no chemicals involved.
Mm-hmm.
And until you get to what's causing that, you're never going to be able to get better from it. So you kind of have to dig down deep for that.
Well, that's with anything too, with anxiety, because anxiety causes a whole host of illnesses.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you've got to really study. It's like, is this something else, or is this my anxiety causing me to have this illness?
Anxiety
Right.
can cause physical.
And you can ask
Issues.
everybody else questions about what causes anxiety, but they're not going to be able to tell you what causes your anxiety.
Mhm.
They can only tell you what causes theirs.
Yeah.
And you're never going to find your answers there.
It's gonna be like, well, why are you feeling this way? I have no idea. It
You
doesn't
hate
make
June
sense.
bugs.
I do. I hate June bugs.
I hate snakes.
But I know why I hate June bugs.
I hate snakes.
I hate bats and squirrels.
I love that.
We're all afraid of something different.
Yeah.
I hate rabies.
But we each have our reasons why we're afraid
Right.
of them.
June bugs don't scare me.
They bother me because I know when they land on me, they're going to hurt.
Right.
And that's why I don't like them.
There's too
I
many.
know the June bugs. I thought they didn't bite.
They don't bite their feet. I can literally feel them walking on me. It burns.
Interesting.
And they pinch.
I'm
Oh,
afraid of
okay.
snakes because there's so many poisonous ones.
Mm-hmm.
It.
Snakes are creepy. I have a love-hate with snakes.
I have nightmares about snakes. I'm on medication for
Whereas
those
I
nightmares.
like snakes. So
I want to get a
as long
water
as they're not
snake.
poisonous.
No.
No. I want to, but I know I can't because she watches our
I won't
house.
come in her house.
Yeah. I think it would be so cool to have. Okay, I won't though.
Okay, Becky's turn.
All right. Reminder to everyone that your best doesn't mean pushing yourself to your breaking point. Your best means the best you can do while being the best you. Get enough sleep, give yourself breaks, listen to your limits. Your best is better when you're happy and healthy.
That's good.
So true.
Mhm.
So true.
And that goes along with, just being confident and assertive and just saying, I know this is going to bum you out. It's going to discourage you. It's going to disappoint you, but I won't be at my best if I say yes, if I go along with it. I need to take care of myself first so I can be of help and use to other people.
Well, yeah, that's Ella too.
Yeah, it
Mhm.
is.
Take care of yourself so you can take care of others.
Yep.
Mhm. Yep.
She's so inspirational.
She is. All right. My last one is by Serena Williams. And it says, a champion is defined not by their wins, but by how they can recover when they fall.
I almost wrote that one down last night. I'm glad I didn't.
And it's pretty self-explanatory, but basically I just interpret it as it doesn't matter. Again, like the last one I just did, about the trying. The champion, it doesn't matter how many times you win, but when you lose, how do you act?
Yeah.
Are you a good sport? Do you congratulate your opponent? Or do you throw a temper tantrum?
Nobody wants to see a temper tantrum.
No. Temper tantrums are kind of cute in 2-year-olds.
They're never cute in 2-year-olds. I don't know why you
They're
say that.
funny. They're funny
They're
sometimes.
They're never cute for an adult, though.
They're
No,
never
ever.
cute to me. But to you, I'm going to give you my nieces at 2 years old for you.
It's funny to hear what they have to say when they're throwing their temper tantrum.
Yeah.
It's birth control for me.
Or why this thing is the end of the world for them.
Yeah.
When it's an adult,
Didn't you send me that link?
I did. And I
That
told
is-
you it's birth control because I could barely get through all of them because I'm like, oh, I got PTSD.
But it's funny because it's like, this is what they're having a temper tantrum about. But like Mackenzie said, there's nothing funny about an adult throwing a temper tantrum.
Oh, no.
Because they grown, they should know better.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon the incorrect grammar.
Seriously.
Yeah. It's funnier in a child than it is in an adult. I'll put it that way. Is that better, Becky?
I know. Because I'm like,
Okay.
it's stupid either way. I'm like, why are you?
But at least a 2-year-old doesn't know any better.
It's easier to forgive a
Okay.
2-year-old.
Okay.
I didn't check this off, but did I do this one? So I'm like, I got 2 left here.
I don't think so.
But we both have 7, so...
Oh, I had 6.
I didn't read one of mine. I'm not going to do one of mine.
Okay, that's why then. Well, then I'll only do one more.
Okay.
That way we're all even. I'll skip that one.
Okay.
This is D,
Because I
right?
want this one.
What?
This is D, right?
I can't see that far.
Because I hope I haven't been doing the wrong color. It's hard to see
I'll let them
upside
take
down.
care of this clip.
Okay, you carry on.
Okay, my final quote will be, maybe life isn't about avoiding the bruises. Maybe it's about collecting the scars to prove we showed up for it.
Ooh, I love
I like that one too.
I love that quote.
Mm-hmm.
You're speaking to a
Because-
klutz.
Mhm.
So
You cannot make it through life without making mistakes and getting burned.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, that is no life at all.
no,
Yeah.
it's not.
It means you live too gentle and you never experienced life,
Mhm.
anything. I mean, so there might be some people who want to argue with me on that, and you're welcome to think your own way. But as much as my triumphs have shaped who I am, my failures have too.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the failures have done more to
Yeah.
make me a better person than the wins have.
Well, I think it would just living this life would be pointless. Because if we were to come down here and expect to be perfect,
Exactly.
it's like,
It's not
we're
gonna
here
happen.
to like discover
We're not
ourselves.
here to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Well, it's like a child, like, you have a child and expect that child to be perfect. No,
Right.
that child is going to fall down.
That's like teaching a child about a hot stove. You can tell them over and over and over it's hot, but until they burn themselves on it, they're not going to make that connection.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know a single child who hasn't learned by at least once burning themselves on something hot.
And they have to make
Then they
that
understand what
connection.
hot is.
Mm-hmm. I remember the first time I stepped on a hot coal. I'm like, oops.
I have never stepped on a hot coal.
Oh, they hurt.
They
thankfully.
hurt. That's so funny. You and
I
I
had one hit my arm.
And
But I
it's
never
on the
stepped
bottom
on
of your
one.
foot where you got to wear shoes.
Well, again,
Mhm.
though, I don't go barefoot.
I a cigarette lighter in the car. I'm like, that looks like a spring, and so I poked it, and oh my, oh that hurt. I had this biggest blister on my finger because I was expecting it to spring back and forth. It doesn't.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
I just saw you send it to
yeah.
me.
You're welcome.
Anyway, so that's our quotes. What are we up to?
I have no clue. I haven't been watching. I can't see the time from here. We are at almost an hour.
Okay.
56.
Okay. So we'll just ramble on for a couple more minutes. So this could be an hour long.
Not that it makes a difference.
It doesn't, but I like them to be even.
Okay. Well, then I'll read my last quote, too. Why
Okay.
not?
Go ahead.
This one's by George Eliot. It says, "It is never too late to become what you might have been."
Ooh, I like that.
Because I do like that one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm meant to be yet. But that doesn't mean it's too late just because I'm 42. No. It just means I haven't gotten to that point yet.
Hey, Mackenzie, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I don't know. I'll tell you when I grow up.
Okay.
Oh, funny.
All right. I have one last one. It's not an actual quote, but it is a quote. It's been said by at least every diamond painter at least once in their diamond painting career.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good one.
I hate confetti. Confetti is evil.
Uh-huh.
Or something along those lines. Even Mrs. Coffee has said it because she said she doesn't like crazy confetti.
There is a limit to how much confetti one can do.
And I am working on a diamond painting right now that not this one.
Probably about a foot on either side is pure confetti. I feel for her. I really do.
But it'll be worth
Do
it.
you mean confetti as there's lots of different colors? And
Yeah,
really
there's
no
like
solid-
20 different colors in a square inch.
Oh, that would be terrible.
It is
Yes,
terrible.
it is
Have you not
terrible.
experienced that yet?
No, I don't think
Yeah, I don't
so.
think the one I gave
There's
you
little
had much
pockets.
confetti.
There's little tiny
No,
pockets.
this is like
Yeah,
20
you'll have
colors
like
in a small section.
you'll have like this big of a section,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like 3 of this one, 4 of that one,
Oh, okay.
and you use like every color in your arsenal in that small section.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, I thought I'd throw that out there because every diamond painter has said it at least once that they don't like confetti or that confetti is evil or
And
something
if they
along
are not,
those
can
lines.
I hire them to do my confetti?
Yeah. I'll send you the diamond painting. You can do it. I'll pay you for your time.
Funny.
Because as much as we all love to do it, I'm one of those people, I far prefer color blocking.
Definitely.
Because then I can really just zone out doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind confetti once in a while, but after that freaking paint with diamonds, tree I did. If I never see confetti again, I'll be happy.
You'd have to be really in a meditative mood.
And
You can't get into that mood with the confetti.
We got
You're constantly
Becky's-
on the go.
we got Becky's husband into diamond painting.
Yes.
We converted another one.
He
He's
loves
joined the
it.
cult.
He's so funny. I know, we're gonna go broke on diamond painting. I can feel it. So I have a quote by my children's book character that I really like. I came up with it when my niece was going through a difficult time, and I wanted her to know that your past really doesn't define you, and basically you are who you're meant to be already. So this is my main character's name is Little One, and she's telling her friend, she says, I love all of yous. The you from the past because it made you today. I love the future you because you are who you are meant to be. I love all of yous because you're special to me.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
That's very sweet.
Because, I mean, we should embrace, like you were talking about, Mackenzie, like embrace the mistakes that, the mistakes that we've made in the past and forgive ourselves in advance for the mistakes that we will make in the future. And basically to, like, we are who we are meant to be already because we're falling, we're getting up, and yeah.
Moving on.
It's like a little baby who's learning to walk. They are already who they're meant to be.
All right, well, that's going to end this video. I hope y'all enjoyed our quotes and our randomness, our few squirrels and our little tiny rants in there, and just the randomness.
Our humanness.
Yes.
It's a rainy day here. Pennsylvania is still crying for Mrs. Coffee.
Pennsylvania seems to think it's Washington now.
Oh my god.
Does that mean the vampires are going to move here?
Maybe.
Anyways, I hope you all have a great week, and we will see you probably next weekend. All right? Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.